Artists ask me all the time, what mixing palette should I buy or which mixing palette should I use? If you don't have to constantly stand and paint or travel and paint, I'm gonna recommend this right here, a glass mixing palette, but not just any glass mixing palette. There's decent, good, and then we can talk about the best, which is this right here. This is the new Wave POSH Neutral Gray Glass Mixing Palette. Now, full disclosure, I am not sponsored by New Wave, but if they want to send me a t-shirt or supplies, hey, I'd wear it or rock it on my videos here. So if you're watching, hey, send me a little swag. Now let's talk about why the POSH Neutral Gray Mixing Palette is the best. The glass palette that you see here is the POSH series from New Wave, and they do come in 3 different colors. You have gray, white, and clear. I personally love the neutral gray because it leads itself for enhanced color gauging for when you mix colors. It also comes in 3 different sizes, 9 by 12, 12 by 16, and what you see here, which is 16 by 20. I personally love a larger mixing palette. It allows me to keep my colors separated out so that way I don't have any cross contaminations. And it also gives me more space to play around and mix different colors. Now, I personally love a large mixing palette. I love the 16 by 20, and I'd recommend you would get that one too. But 2 cool things about the smaller sizes is they're really made for the painter that travels or likes to paint over a long period of time, because there's special palettes that are made for the medium and smaller size from Masterson. They're Masterson Stay Wet palettes. They're more of a case that go around the glass mixing palette that you can seal airtight so you can easily travel with your POSH mixing palette, or you can keep your paints wetter for longer if you didn't finish that day and you want to finish up the next day or the next few days. Now, of course, if you're interested in those Stay Wet mixing palette cases, I'll put them down below along with the POSH mixing palette. The POSH New Wave mixing palettes are made out of tempered glass, which makes itself really strong and safe. It's worth mentioning, since it's made out of tempered glass, they aren't that heavy because it's not that dense. That tempered glass allows it to be thinner, so it allows it to be lighter in weight. But just to let you know, it does weigh more than a plastic palette. The palette also has custom corner guards for added protection, but they also serve for surface traction. So when you apply more paint on your mixing palette or get vigorous with mixing, your glass mixing palette won't slide over the surface. This mixing palette also has softer edges, what I would call grounded edges. They're shaped off a little bit, but when you look at it closer, they still have a little bit of an edge, so just be careful. You're not gonna hurt yourself, but they're not beveled in any way. They're more kind of just like slightly cut to be safer for you and your fingers for when you hold it, because you're not gonna cut yourself, but worth noting in case you dropped it on your foot or something like that. Please don't drop it on your foot, that would be really bad. All POSH mixing palettes have a durable finish to them. Since they're made out of tempered glass, they are dense, which means you can put more pressure when applying your paintbrush or mixing colors and not have to worry about breaking or cracking. They're also solvent and water resistant, which means they can handle different mediums and chemicals and paints without any problem. And the best part about that is cleanup is a breeze. If you're the type of person that wants to get the neutral gray like I have here, one of the best things about it is it has an excellent color fastness on it, so it's not gonna fade over time, provided that you keep the mixing palette nice and clean. Now, you know it and I know it. Nothing worse about being a painter than cleanup. But the New Wave POSH Glass Mixing Palette makes it super easy. Since this is tempered glass, it's non-absorbent, or a better way to think about it is it's non-porous, so the paint sits right on top of the material. When you're done painting for the day, just take your favorite glass cleaner or any cleaner that you like and just put down a few simple squirts, and you just take your paper towel and literally just wipe it all away. Look how quick and easy that was. That's worth the money. That wasn't even like a camera editing trick. That was just like, it just came out so easy. I want to talk about something really quick. Why is non-absorbent or non-porous really important? Well, if this mixing palette was made out of plexi or plastic or wood, there's gonna be indentations that the paint's gonna find itself to hide into, which means it's gonna change the color of my mixing palette over time. Not good if my mixing palette is gray and I want that neutral color. But more importantly, if you're ever gonna use mediums or chemicals that may not be the healthiest to breathe in, some of those may still be sitting within those little pores that may just evaporate into the air. When you use something like a tempered glass mixing palette, you get every single last drop out. And of course, if your paint has gotten hard and dry, you can use a straight edge scraper or a palette knife to get it off your mixing palette, or if it's dried acrylic, simply just peel it off. Now, if I've piqued your interest on getting a Posh glass mixing palette from New Wave, I'm gonna do you a favor and put links down below. I'm always gonna recommend the largest one, which is the 16 by 20, and I'm always gonna recommend the neutral gray because I truly believe it helps with mixing colors and getting the right ratios of what you want. That generally comes in right around 50 to 60 USD, and I think that's a fair value. But you choose on what color and what size is best gonna be suited for you and your art needs. Now, if you can't get the Posh glass mixing palette from New Wave in your country or region, you know what? You can make one of these, and I have in the past. And if you're interested in that video, you gotta do me a huge favor. You gotta go down below, leave me a comment letting me know you want that video. And while you're down there, hit like and subscribe and share this video with your friends so I can grow and help you become bigger and better. And if that video is already done, hey, just check it over to the side and you can see more of me and my handsome face. I'll catch you all later. Take care and happy painting.